over 55 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by the Georgia Farm Bureau in association with Abraham Baldwin Agricultural College.
Please enter. Our home is your home for the next 30 minutes. For all you first-time viewers, we are Jennifer and Ray, hosts of your only source dedicated entirely to Georgia agriculture, also known as the Farm Monitor.
Yes, and we're glad you're here. And whether agriculture is your livelihood or just something you're curious about, you get to learn something new today. Coming up, Georgia grown, Georgia made, how one young entrepreneur is reshaping the cotton industry and bringing real value back to local farmers. Flowers, farming, and a little family inspiration. How one Spalding County couple turned memories of a grandmother's garden into a full-blown you-pick experience, giving visitors a bouquet of beauty and a deeper appreciation for ag.
Plus, from olive trees made of olives to pizza you eat for dessert, we're getting creative in the kitchen with this month's Meals from the Field. These stories and so much more starting right now. In Sandersville, Georgia, one company is working to bring new life to the state's cotton industry by keeping more of the value and the jobs right here at home. John Holcomb has more on Magnolia Loom and how its founders are helping farmers connect to their crops in a whole new way.
Just over 4 years ago, Zeke Chapman, this young, energetic entrepreneur, turned an idea into reality by starting Magnolia Loom with a simple but powerful mission: turn Georgia-grown cotton into Georgia-made t-shirts.
I started Magnolia Loom in 2021 with an idea of taking Georgia cotton and turning it into t-shirts. Georgia grows a lot of cotton. It's one of our largest commodities, and we really wanted to find a way to add value to it locally and be able to connect the cotton farmers across the state to an end product that they could touch and feel and see and be able to wear.
From day one, the goal was to build a more local supply chain, something that has become a reality with having just about every aspect of the process now under one roof.
We knew the goal had to be to bring more of the manufacturing to the state, but we knew we had to start where we did. And then over time piece that together and see what it looked like. And so over the last 6 months to a year, we've made huge strides and met some huge milestones and be able to do what we do now. That we've taken our supply chain that used to travel 1,500 miles across Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina, and now it's traveling on average 750 miles in Georgia and North Carolina. So that's a huge step for us, not only from a quality control and a product standpoint, but also in how quickly we can bring product to market.
That shorter supply chain is just one part of a much larger mission, one that's focused on keeping more of the value from cotton right here in Georgia and putting it directly into the hands of local farmers.
What we're doing is we're taking a commodity that a cotton farmer grows and adding value to it locally in a way that really no one else is doing, in the sense that when we sell a shirt at, let's say, a live printing event that we're at, like the fair or the Ag Expo, over 90% of the value add of that garment is staying in the state of Georgia. It allows us to pay our cotton farmers more per pound. Right now, cotton prices are probably around 60 cents a pound. We're paying $1 a pound for cotton, which is huge to these growers because it's allowing them to stay sustainable in what they do and make a profit, put food on their table for their family, and continue to grow their business.
Looking ahead, Magnolia Loom hopes to keep even more of the process in-house, right here in Sandersville, furthering the mission of creating value-added products that are 100% made in the U.S., proving it's not just about business, it's about purpose.
We both see a huge benefit in that. Having your products made in America, that's a huge benefit for what we're trying to do and our purpose and our mission for that. But not only that, we see huge value in our farmers. Our farmers oftentimes don't see significance in what they're doing. They are not paid accordingly to what the hard work that they put in. And so we want to bring added value to what they're doing and to let them know not only are we willing to pay for that, but we are showing you that We're taking a commodity that they've grown and turning it into a valuable product.
Reporting in Sandersville for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
Turning now to other ag news, U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins has introduced a new USDA initiative that highlights agriculture's role in protecting national interests. Sam Kiefer, Vice President of Public Policy for the American Farm Bureau, says the 7-part plan is designed to safeguard the nation's ag resources, placing a major focus on limiting foreign ownership of U.S. farmland, especially by countries considered adversaries. Still, Kiefer reminds us foreign entities currently own only about 3% of all privately held agricultural land in the U.S.
We understand and appreciate the need to protect the sensitive aspects of the American food system. And it's important to remember that food security is indeed national security. And we want to ensure that any steps by USDA or by the Trump administration protect American agriculture while also preserving the freedom and abilities of farmers to develop, to invest, and to sell their land depending on their unique circumstances.
Meantime, nothing marks a special occasion quite like the perfect bouquet. And with more than 100 varieties to choose from, the Flower Shack in Griffin has you covered for just about any event. But as Damon Jones shows us, behind all that beauty is a bit of good old-fashioned elbow grease.
While it might not look like your grandma's garden, that was actually the inspiration behind this You Pick Flower Farm, which offers visitors not only every color under the sun, but also an education in agriculture.
I guess just growing up, my grandmother always loved flowers, had a nice garden, and just seeing her in that. And then right about 5 years ago when we decided to do this, flower farms had just started gaining popularity. And I told Stephen one night, I said, we're gonna start a flower farm. And that spring we started a flower farm. So there was no big event that led to that. It was just, hey, this is what I want to do on our farm, just to be able to allow people to come here and educate them, like I said, about ag.
Getting these rows of flowers ready to be picked has been several months in the making, as countless hours were already put in before a seed ever went into the ground.
When we're pulling beds here on the hills, we're backfilling by hand in some areas, getting dirt on the plastic that maybe the bedder wouldn't have done. So even though it sounds as simple as pulling beds, we've got 4 guys out there doing this, and it takes all day to pull these beds. So we've learned so much, though, from the last few years that we have started staggering. So a lot of the earlier season flowers, we'll pull those beds first, and then we got a couple weeks in between where we can pull the other beds, the other half, for the later season flowers.
And that is just the beginning, as each of these flowers have been hand planted and carefully maintained through the scorching summer heat.
We grow over 100 varieties of flowers here at our farm. I'm out here almost every day, may not be all day, but I try to get out here super early in the mornings and do all of our planting. We plant every week all the way from April to August, just keeping a good rotation of flowers going. So that's our biggest thing, plus maintaining all of this, checking on the health of the flowers and all of that. Just is a lot of work every week.
If you're not looking to make your own arrangement, no worries, as that is one of Tara's favorite parts of the job.
Making bouquets is one of my favorite things. We have a roadside honor system stand, and I stock that daily with fresh flowers, arrangements that I've made. I do enjoy the creative side of it, mixing the colors and textures and just stretching my creative brain too of what I can do.
With their cattle and vegetable operation just a few steps away, everyone that walks through the gate truly gets a first-hand look at life on the farm.
You know, a lot of times with farming, before we had this, we didn't really have a lot of interaction with people and being able to show them what we had out here and what we did. So this is just one avenue to come out here to fellowship with people and to let them ask us questions, you know. So it's neat that they get to ask us and we can just explain everything and talk to them.
Reporting from Griffin, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
When we come back, it looks like pizza, but it's made with yogurt and oats, and trust me, it is ridiculously good. We've got a sweet surprise next in Meals from the Field.
The spotted lanternfly is an invasive pest found in several counties in the northeast United States and is threatening American agriculture and natural resources.
It damages more than 70 types of plants, including grapevines, fruit trees, and hardwoods.
We need your help to look for and report it. Spotted lanternflies excrete a sticky fluid that promotes mold growth and weakens plants. First seen in Pennsylvania in 2014, this invasive pest has been found in nearby states because people unknowingly moved infested materials or items containing egg masses. Most states are at risk because this pest, in all stages, can easily hitchhike on things we move. So to stop the spread of spotted lanternfly, we're working with state and local partners and you. Look for spotted lanternflies year-round. When they're young, in spring and summer, they are black with white spots and turn red as they mature. Adults with their colorful wings are easy to spot in late summer and fall. Newly laid egg masses look like wet gray putty before turning dull and brown, like cracked mud. Look for egg masses in fall, winter, and spring on all variety of outdoor surfaces like trees, bricks, stones, fences, grills, outdoor equipment, and vehicles. They gather in groups and feed on trees, especially the invasive tree of heaven, or Ailanthus, its preferred host. If you see spotted lanternfly, report it. Contact your State Department of Agriculture or Cooperative Extension Office. Learn more at the Hungry Pests website, aphis.usda.gov/hungrypests/SLF.
Well, the invasive pest is no longer just a national concern. The spotted lanternfly had a confirmed sighting in Fulton County, prompting UGA experts to prioritize all of Metro and North Georgia to be on alert. Experts warn of the serious threat they pose to agriculture and say if you spot one, snap a clear photo, then immediately crush it and report it at agr.georgia.gov/spotted lanternfly.
All right, ingredients, check. Appetite, check. Ideas for kids and adults, check. And most importantly, Dr. Tracy Brigman, check.
So creativity in the kitchen. It's summertime. You can get bored, holiday, whenever. I like to cook, and when I have time, I like to be creative. It's relaxing. So we're going to do 2 easy dishes that we can be creative with.
Yay, let's get started.
Yeah,
Yay.
so the first one's going to be a shortcut focaccia. If you've ever made focaccia from scratch, it takes about 3 hours. This one's only going to take an hour, so we're going to do that, and we're going to get to decorate it.
Cool.
So we're going to start. I have my oven preheated to 400 degrees. And then I want to get my pan ready. So in this, there's 1/4 cup olive oil. So you want to put that in a 9x13 pan. And then I need you to kind of spread it around the bottom and the sides. While you're doing that, I have 2 cans of Pillsbury French bread dough. All right. Now, you're going to take another 1/4 cup of olive oil and drizzle it over the top.
Okay. Oh.
And make the whole thing.
Love it.
So when you do this, make sure you have some towels or paper towels, because then you're going to take your fingers and put the trademark dimples in it. So you're just going to,
like that?
Yep, all over. All right, so once we have that nice and dimpled, we're going to set it aside for 30 minutes and let it come to room temperature. So our 30 minutes are up. It's gotten to room temperature. I want to dimple it again, because we're going to, it rose a little bit. We're going to punch it down. We want to dimple it before we cook it, or after it rises, so that it doesn't rise over our decorations. All right, that looks good. So once it's nice and dimpled, we're going to decorate and season. I have sea salt. I have bread dip seasoning mix. You can season it however you want.
All right, so hands are washed. Now
hands are washed, so now we decorate. You can see here I have some Parmesan cheese. If you want to do like a seascape or just season it, that can be sand. We have some olives that we sliced. I have capers. I have flat leaf parsley. So we can make flowers. We can, if you have little kids, and maybe they can't do official flowers or whatever. It can be abstract. All right. So once you have it decorated, we're going to need to go ahead and brush our decorations with olive oil so that they don't burn in the oven.
And because we're using olive oil, you know what I made? I made an olive tree.
You did make an olive tree.
So I extended the olive branch to you.
You did. It's beautiful. So we're going to brush this with olive oil, and then we're going to stick it in the oven at 400 degrees for about 18 to 20 minutes. When it comes out 20 minutes later, we're going to let it cool for about 5 to 10 minutes. It's going to be delicious, but we don't want to burn our mouth, so we're going to let it cool before we cut it up to serve.
Moving on now, but staying with the pizza theme, this is a dessert fun pizza.
Yeah, so again, another way to be creative, but this time we're going to use fruit instead of vegetables. So let's start with the crust. I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees, and then I have a pizza pan that I'm just going to place parchment paper on. If you don't have a round pizza pan, you can do it on a cookie sheet. That's fine, because you can still pat it out to being round. So we're going to start with the dry ingredients. So in this bowl, I want you to put 1 cup of whole wheat flour, and then 3/4 cup of old-fashioned oats. And we're going to add to that 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, or half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then go ahead and just mix the dry together. Once that looks well mixed, we're going to put that to the side for just a little bit, and we're going to do the wet ingredients. So we're going to start with 1 egg. This is 1/3 cup of brown sugar. We always count sugar as liquid because it grabs moisture. This is 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then this is 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. And you're going to mix that together. All right, so now we have our dry in one bowl, our wet in another. So we are going to put our wet into our dry. All right, so once we have our wet and dry mixed together, we are going to roll it out onto our pizza pan on parchment paper, and then you just simply flatten it, trying to keep it round again. If it's not perfectly round, that's okay. So once I have my dough, that looks pretty good. Once I have it spread out, I'm going to put it in my 350 degree oven, and I'm going to bake it for about 10 minutes until it turns golden brown. All right, so our cookie crust dough has cooked for 10 minutes. We're going to put it off to the side to let it cool some, because if it's hot, the sauce is just going to melt and roll off of it. So we're going to, while it's cooling, we're going to put together the quote-unquote pizza sauce. So in this bowl, I want you to put, this is 3/4 cups of plain Greek yogurt, and then this is 3 ounces of light cream cheese. And then you get to choose a sweetener of your choice. This is 2 tablespoons of honey. And then we're going to take a hand mixer and mix that. All right, so our cookie crust dough is cooled. Our sauce has been mixed together. I would not put all of it on at once because I don't know how much it takes. So you're going to spread a layer of your pizza sauce that we just mixed together. And then now comes the creative part. We have, all this fruit has been washed. We have raspberries, we have sliced strawberries, blueberries, sliced kiwi, some peaches, and some bananas. The peaches and the bananas, we put some lemon juice on so it wouldn't brown. But you can randomly put fruit on there. You can make a design, whatever you want to do. So again, it's creativity in the kitchen, so it's good for all ages, young to old.
And staying with tradition, 2 easy recipes that you can make right at home. Recipes you can find by logging on to farm-monitor.com, going to the recipe section, and these will be up there as soon as you log on. We try to get those up in a timely manner, and especially when people see these recipes, they're going to be like, yeah, I want those right away. So anyway, Tracy, good to see you again. Thank you so much for your for all you do. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again next month.
From Atlanta office life to life on the vine, meet the woman behind Oconee County's Sun Woman Farms. Next.
Finally this week, it's not every day we get to talk muscadines here on the show, or first-generation farmers for that matter.
Not often, but recently I met one who left her job in Atlanta to walk among the vines, and in doing so, she's grown far more than grapes. She's rooted herself in a whole new way of life.
We have Ice and Black, we have Supreme, we have Late Fry, we have Pam and Hull. And we have a few Darlenes scattered in, and that's a pinkish reddish color.
It's been several years in the making for Sylvia Crow and her family at Sun Woman Farms.
I grew up in Atlanta. Farming was not in my background.
She's learned a lot, including the fact that it takes around 5 years for muscadine vines to produce a large crop.
I guess the Supreme would be my favorite because it's a big purple, and these are what these are, and they are very sweet. So when you pick them, you want them a little soft. You don't want them hard, and it's got to be completely purple. You can't have any green or any pink on it, or otherwise it's going to be really sour and you're going to make a funny face.
Did you know that muscadines need leaves on their vines to produce fruit? And the color of their leaves can tell you a lot.
So it would be yellow if it didn't have enough nitrogen.
To make sure they have the healthiest plants possible, they take soil and leaf samples.
We test at least once a year, but if we see a problem, like this row may not look as good, and we do have some of those rows that they're missing something. So we'll check that one a little more frequently. In the vineyard, we have sandy soil. Parts are just downright clay, as hard as a rock. And so you've got to add things to it to soften it up and make it a better soil so your product will do better. Fix it first before you plant. That, please, if I learned anything, was to fix your soil before you plant lots of things, because it's much harder to get it right after the fact. If you don't take care of your soil, you will not have crops.
She says her local UGA extension agent has been helpful in getting her soil right for planting, and they've traveled across state lines to North Carolina and Florida to learn more about growing muscadines.
We have 5 different varieties, and they all have a different taste. You have to hand pick them. You can't do it with the machine, it will tear up the berries.
They offer a U-Pick operation at Sun Woman Farms where you can try your hand at picking your own Georgia-grown muscadines.
When people come in, they want to see how it's grown. We start with a vine. You have to put a cane in, and you have to tape it up so it grows up, and you want the straightest trunk as you can get. After it splits, and how you make it split, you cut the top, it's like you're cutting it off, and it'll fork. And then you secure the arm to the line. This is what your result is. Starting in January, we start pruning. So you have to prune back because fruit only comes on new wood, new growth. So it's very important to prune. If you don't prune back some of the berries or some of the flowers, you could overproduce, and next year you're not going to have anything.
She shared a little trick of the trade, too.
If you freeze them or if you put them in cold, it makes the sugars come out a little more as well.
So what can you do with muscadines?
You can use them for jams, jellies, preserves, or wine. And you can make ice cream.
And something that may surprise you, they self-pollinate.
We have different varieties because some are male and female. They self-pollinate. We don't have pollinators that fly to each plant, so they do it themselves. So you have to have a male and so many females.
This Sun Woman is proud of her crop and how far she's come as a farmer.
I suggest that everybody plant something and learn how to plant it because I did not. It was a learning experience, and it was a hard learning experience for me.
And as luck would have it, Sun Woman Farms is a proud participant in the Georgia Farm Bureau Certified Farm Market Program. So if you're planning a visit this summer, don't forget to get your farm passport stamped while you're there.
Yes, stamp it. One last order of business, and it's this. From all of us here at the show, thanks for watching. You're the best. And we'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor.
Have a great week.